Hello, everybody. Welcome to Heart of a Hobbit here on the LOTRO's official Twitch channel, which is twitch.tv/LOTRO stream. Yay! Cowboy Lover says hi, and welcome. So, today is the last day of the Midsummer Festival, so I thought I'd keep my midsummer flowers going. So I'm at the party tree with this character today, starting off here because she was actually capped on Midsummer Festival tokens. So I could go through the quests, but I would just be wasting tokens. And what point is that, right? So I went ahead and have been talking over here to Becca Burdock and barter items.
Greetings, friend.
So I have been trading with her, and I've been giving her, yes, I know, goat. I've been giving her midsummer tokens in exchange for boxes, which are cluttering up my inventory. These boxes, not the boxes above. The lower boxes are cluttering up my inventory. So I've been working on also opening them and picking something because my inventory got full. So, all right, so that's what's going on to start. So now we're ready to go. So let's go do some festival. Luckily, here at the party tree, aside from the Inn League and Ale Association, hi guys, we have this person who will give us a quest to return to Furtherholm. So basically, we've got a portal to Furtherholm from here, which is great. So we're going to go ahead and do that. So now, as a reminder, there's two main places where you can do Midsummer. One is Minas Tirith, and then the other one is here in Furtherholm. And actually, there were some quests back at the party tree. So there's also 4 different locations where you can do other quests, and those quests are the ones that give you the various trinkets and things that you would turn in, like the Midsummer Bouquet or things like that you would turn in Minas Tirith to get even more tokens, and also to satisfy some quests there. But I think we'll just hang out here in Furtherholm because it's lovely. The vibe here is so cool. I love the different painted houses and stuff. That's really fun. Big house up there on the hill. We've got this waterfall coming down over here, and another tall house there, and like it's a really pretty cool place. So yeah, so I figure we'll just do some festival here. So I've kind of got, and I showed this last time on stream, I have kind of like a 20-minute run that I can do on the island. So I'll just walk through that while we're hanging out and chatting. So first we're going to go into the Cracked Flagon, and we need to pick up, well, we don't need to, but I want to pick up the Daily Wrapper. So here's the scoop. With the characters that I'm playing today, I'm trying to level them up. So I want to do as many quests as I can because I want as much experience as I can get. So if I, oh, I don't have a wrapper. How interesting. Is there no daily wrapper? There should be a daily wrapper. Hang on. How fascinating. Okay, so Furtherholm is new as of last year. And so I'm curious, now that I've done the mega wrapper, the uber wrappers, there should still be a daily, I thought. So let me go over, we'll go over to Minas Tirith. I probably have a milestone, but I think it's on cooldown. Oh, it's not. We could return to Minas Tirith. Yeah, we'll do that. Sure. The festival dockmaster there would also got me there, but it would cost me, man. My milestone's free. Well, now use of it's free because I already paid for it. Okay, so let's go check out with Bailiff. Oh, interesting. So it's possible then. I assumed that I'd still have a daily wrapper I could do, but I'm not finding that to be the case. Let me just check my inventory, make sure I didn't pick one up and not do it. Okay, so this is Midsummer. Gathering guests. I haven't actually done that. And I said I would do it here in Minas Tirith, so I could look around here and see if I could do that. Festival. Good deeds at Yule time. I need to go to Bree and grab some gifts. Okay, I guess I didn't notice this before. That after you finish the series of wrappers, of which there's 12 days of it, so you do like a 3-day wrapper 4 times, so it's 12 days on total. Once you do that, there's no more daily wrapper to pick up. Alright, just do quests. Yeah, Tellerian says I do not get the daily wrapper after completing it 12 times. Okay. Other festivals you can, but apparently not this one. Alright, so I could work on that quest of gathering guests. So I've been tasked with traveling to Minas Tirith in Gondor and finding a potential visitor who might accept an invitation to visit Furtherholm for the Midsummer Festival. You should look around Minas Tirith Midsummer for potential visitors. Okay. Now, I haven't actually done this one before, but it looks like it's going to be at the top. So, we can do our normal routine here just to get us started, which for me is pick up the daily wrapper, which, done, I guess, because there isn't one. And then I pop in here because it's so nearby. And I do this quest. Well, picking up the wrapper, all it was going to do for me is act as another quest, so it would have given me more experience, and also be a festival quest that gave me more festival tokens, which I don't need. We are swimming in festival tokens at the moment, so I am good. In fact, I wish there were more things that I could buy and give to other people, but alas, that is not a possibility. But I have, and I've already bought a bunch of, I buy the gift boxes as much as I can. Maybe I should buy a bunch of dye. Let me check on that, I guess, see if there's some dye from this festival that I can purchase. But we're gonna feed horses and groom horses first. So through the festival, I actually gained, I was running like 5 characters through. Yeah, one. Okay, I have the thing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, 5 characters through. And I got all of them done with the full wrapper, I think. Barna's not crossed off. I should take a look. Well, we'll take a look at her today, too. Maybe that I just forgot to cross them off because I was getting them all done the same day. Anyway, I got like almost 25 levels. So that's an average like 5 levels per character. So that was pretty cool. Well, hello. Welcome back. All right. So let's see how much experience we get. Boom. Yeah, not bad. She was, Kato's been wandering back and forth and trying to get some sleep here on the couch, but unfortunately I forgot to put back the blanket that they like to sleep on. Here, do you want me to scooch? You want to come sit next to me? Which side do you want to be? You want to come over here? She does this thing where she climbs in right next to me and, like, folds herself up right up against my leg. It's very cute. Let me see if she comes down. Oh, are you going to check out the painting behind me? Okay. So it looks like you're smelling the flowers. There you go. Casper, of course, has the other half of the couch. Like, and I'm not kidding, he has basically the whole half of the couch. Oh, I've discovered this wonderful little thing. So I'm sitting on like a love seat, right? So it's like 2 sides. So I have one side and Casper gets the other side, apparently. Kento and I get one side, and he has the other. So, okay, let's go up to the high stables.
How may I help you, friend?
While we're chatting. And I often will put a blanket down on the seats, and that way, you know, it doesn't get all covered in cat hair and everything. I could just throw it in the wash every so often. But summertime was coming, and I thought, oh, a blanket. I don't want to sit on a blanket. That's way too warm. But I found some crib sheets, fitted crib sheets, that are basically the same size as the couch. So it's perfect. And so I got a pair of those, and so I can just throw that in the wash, which is pretty awesome. Here you go. And that gets covered in cat hair, and it's not so hot as a blanket, which is so good. All right, so somewhere in this area should be Midsummer reveling visitor peoples. So I think we'll just kind of look around. Do I have names up? Okay, names are on. I think they'll have a little thing hovering. Oh, maybe they're up above. Let's go up above. Yeah, they're up here on the prow. Okay, so here's the scoop with these guys, is they've got rings over their heads. And at some point, they're going to like pause. Okay, that guy paused and did a nod. So he's pretty happy, I think. And so if they give kind of like a, or, you know, that kind of a thing, then we know we can bother them. Okay, so this person, and it usually, from what I've seen, it happens when the ring goes away momentarily, but I could be wrong. All right, we got 2 more visitors over here. That's a nod. What about you, buddy? All right, well, I can get it wrong 3 times. There's only 4 people to choose from. I got it right. Quick, let's leave before my mother sees. That's awesome. Okay, I got it right. Well, I knew 2 of them were probably not my visitor, so that did just kind of narrow it down a little bit, right? Shit, sounds good. Sounds good. I think I'm gonna go back to Furtherholm though, and rather than do all the questing here. So now, before mentions that from the wiki, and you put the link there, the ones who need a vacation will sigh, shake their head no, scratch their heads, etc. The ones who are happy will laugh, nod, and do positive emotes. Okay, cool. So yeah, so the people who are nodding their head yes were definitely not the people I was looking for. Awesome. Oh wait, let's go back to
How may I help you,
we're gonna go back down to what's the bottom one? City Stables. Because right next to there is, again, that person that was at the party tree. Their twin is here. And they can send me to Furtherholm. Also, there's a pony I could take. I guess I could just take the pony. Let's do that. I'm curious if it drops me at the same place. It does! How fun. Yeah, if you end up taking this Dockmaster, he only has 3 places you can go. One is Minas, Tirith, Midsummer, where we just were. One is West Bree, and there is an accompanying horse to get you here. And then one is Umbar Barhabel, which this character hasn't been to, but I'm going to guess there's probably, you know, an equivalent person to get you back here. I don't think this Festival Dockmaster is going to be here all year round. So here's the deal for those who haven't heard the tea. Hang on, let's sip some tea together, shall we? Before he says it's funny that West Bree isn't marked as Swift. Yeah, that's true. Maybe it's because that way everybody can use it. Because you have to unlock Swift travel. I don't know. But it is Swift. It's immediate. You don't go floating through the ocean. Anyway, the tea. Last year, Furtherholm was introduced. One of the SSG developers has been... Hey, another quest. Bam. Has been adding new stuff to the festivals. They've kind of taken on that as a project, which is pretty awesome. So we got like a new area for, I think it was Spring Festival, going over and doing stuff in Claygr. And then Furtherholm, this whole island, like this whole freaking island with all these quests and like all these NPCs and the water and like everything. So cool. Okay, so this was new last year. Well, apparently in the time between last year's festival when this appeared and became a play space for us, and this year's festival, which started like 3 weeks ago, between those 2 times, various role players on, I'm guessing, Mary here or Peregrine, have been using the space for role playing. So the way you do that, because it's not accessible, it's like Winterhome, where it's an instanced space and there's no door to get in or anything. So the only way to get there is through like these festival stable masters. And so during the rest of the year, you can't get here. But if you have somebody already here, like a captain who can call people, then you can, that's a way to get people here. Or you just log out and you're still here. It's just like the NPCs, like this quest giver is probably gone. You know, all the festival related stuff will disappear, but the space is still here. And they're probably like these people sitting on the beach. They're probably still there. The people hanging out in the water, like probably a lot of this is still here. So people have been using, I think, the beach area, like back over here for role-playing stuff. Now, this isn't happening in any of the role-playing groups that I'm a part of, but that doesn't mean it's not, you know, happening. I just haven't run across it, that's all. So I don't know the details on what kind of role-playing and where it's happening, but just based on the posts I've seen, it sounds like it was happening over in that area. So anyway, so yeah, so... okay, I want to come back to the Stable Master thing, but let me get there. So basically, because the role players have been using the space, they've kind of like taken ownership of it in a way. So the person who was working on this over last year and to create this, MVP, who's the developer, had done a lot of the work here, but there were a few bits and bobs that were outstanding. And one of them was adding a horse race. Now, I don't know if you have paid much attention to the horse races in the game, but there's only 2 of them, and there hasn't been an update to one in a long time. Like, they've been around for ages. The one in the Shire and the one in Bree. Apparently, part of that reasoning is because it is not a simple thing to implement. So that's something they were like, all right, this is a challenge. I would like to see if this is something that I can make happen, and add, you know, this cool content to the game. So they did. So last year it didn't happen. The race was not in place, but this year it is. They managed to, between the seasons, between last year and this year, get the horse race completed. And so now you have this race master here, you have the ponies and the horses here, you've got like the gate with the banners hanging overhead, and then through the rest of the island now are more and more of these gates that weren't there previously. And also, as you go racing around, it takes you around this like road looking space basically through the island, which happens to, you know, go along a lot of the coast and a lot of the beaches, and apparently that's where some of the role playing was happening, which is why I believe that it was happening over on this beach. And so those folks who had been involved with that were very concerned about how this new thing on the island was going to impact them and the role-playing that they were doing. So,
you're most welcome, my friend.
Wait, did I just give her drink? Yes, I did. Okay. So MVP was talking with these folks, you know, in the forums, and there was a long conversation that was happening. Basically, that, you know, is there a way to like have the race instance so you're not running through the live area where people are standing, and you're not running through other players, and other players aren't like on the racetrack as you're going by and being distracting, things like that. There was not enough time to consider these requests because it had already been pretty well implemented, and the festival was starting in like a week. So even if, you know, MVP wanted to implement those changes, there was not the time to do it. There just wasn't enough time to make that happen. So one of the things, though, that came out of that was the idea of having permanent travel available to this space. And people have also asked if we could have it to Winterholm, which I think would be really awesome. So yeah, it's and MVP did say, you know, that that's something that they're going to try and work on. So now, again, not before this festival, there just wasn't time to add anything new to the requirements. But yeah, it sounded like that's something that MVP is going to try and make happen, is that we would have some sort of permanent travel access to here. Now, I don't know. I mean, it is a island, so we've got dock masters, right? So it would make sense to add it to the docks, especially because of this festival dock master, which wasn't here last year. That was a complaint that happened last year, is that we didn't have a way to get here during the festival. So there's a lot more opportunity on how to get here. Like earlier when I came from the party tree and there was that person sitting there, that's new. The person also hanging out at Minas Tirith, that's new. The pony that's there at Minas Tirith, pretty sure that's all new. I'm pretty sure these are all new. I do not remember these from last year. And then this Dockmaster is definitely new this year. So, I don't know if any of these are going to be, you know, the permanent one, or what's the, you know, what's the plan for that, the location. Like, I haven't seen anything since then, but I also have not gone and reread, you know, read through the forum posts. It kind of cooled down, you know, once we got to festival anyway. So I'll go do the race at some point. I'll tell you what, we'll keep doing the quests here, and you can see where I intersect with the racetrack, and you can see if you think that, you know, where that, oh, bye. Where that connects with what I'm doing, and, you know, what kind of impact that seems like it may or may not be having. I have definitely seen times when I'm questing and somebody's, I think, racing and goes by. And, you know, I am hoping that I'm not impacting their race. I can't tell. It happens so quickly because they go by really fast. So I don't know if I'm, by doing my questing, you know, making it difficult for somebody to be able to focus, or if they're like distracted, like, oh no, there's another character there, I gotta go around, or yeah, I don't know. I don't know if that is impacting people or not. Okay, so let's see. I gotta go turn in this book, which I think I'm gonna tie to my kite so it doesn't get wet, because we're gonna swim across. Because I'm gonna go take it over to this lady over here. But obviously there's no racing in this center part of the town here, so we don't see anybody here.
Good day to you, traveler.
Alright, so got that. Cool. Let's build a sandcastle. So what I've been doing is, this is the kind of the route that I've been doing, is I don't end up doing too much backtracking except to come back around to here, but you have to do the first fishing spot and the second fishing spot here anyway. So it's just a really short loop to get from the holiday goer back over to here, so that seems to make sense for me. Alright, should be catching a fish any moment now. There we go. B4 says, seems like a case of competing accommodations anyway. Those people who hate racers running through their quiet questing areas are going to have different wants and needs than those who want questing areas that feel vibrant and full of energy, including a frequently used racetrack. Yeah, I could see, yeah, all of that. It's something that B4 and I talk about actually sometimes, about how you have competing requirements when you're trying to accommodate various needs. So for example, let's say somebody, gosh, you're really good at this one. You come up with a good analogy. But basically, like, if somebody's hard of hearing, and then somebody else is like can't see well, and like in order to accommodate one, you end up making things worse for the other. That kind of a situation. So yeah, it's trying to be mindful of, like, when you do something to fix something for one person or one group of people, you know, it's like, how is that going to impact a whole bunch of other people, though, in ways that we didn't actually consider? So now we need to really stop and consider, kind of thing. Sleepy cat, have some food. I'm not going to give these sleepy cats any treats. Oh, how funny. Casper has, like, left the building. Not the building, he's left the couch, though. So now we have a whole other side of the couch available, and me and Kuntel are squished over here. I think she likes the kind of cave-like aspect of being between me and the arm of the couch, though. It creates a little cubby for her.
Greetings,
So I think
friend.
she likes that. Oh, Casper's back. Hi, buddy. Can't leave that side of the couch uninhabited now. Okay,
Greetings,
so
friend.
oh yeah, that's a good. Let me go grab this. So before, yeah, it says so like for example, tactile paths. You know, where you can feel, you know, bumps or whatever, or you know, wobblies, that kind of thing. So tactile paths are great for those who have trouble seeing, because if you're like using a stick, or you know, if you're walking and you feel the change, then you're like, oh, okay, this is something I need to be paying attention to. So it's that kind of intention. So tactile paths are great for those who have trouble seeing, but can make the path harder for those with mobility issues. For example, like, you know, if you're trying to take a wheelchair over a tactile path, it can be very and yeah, not enjoyable. Speakers in conference rooms, he says, that amplify voices are great for hard of hearing, but are a problem for those with sensitivities to loud noises. Yeah, so that sort of thing. Yeah. So it's always interesting. It's like, okay, we're doing a great job of helping this group of people, but now we've created some unfortunate consequences for this group of people. Oh, so for example, here's the end of the racetrack. So you're coming along and so you end up on this beach. And I was on this beach the other day. Ooh, might have been the weekend. And there was like a musician over here, and then at one point there were like, let me come over to this side. There were musicians lined up here and musicians lined up there and lined up over here, and people were like dancing in the middle or something like that. So it was cool, except for I'd come through and it was like, it's quiet, it's quiet, it's quiet. And then you come right by the band and it's like, and then the music gets really loud, and then it's quiet. It's quiet.
Greetings, traveler.
So, as before points out, pet-friendly policies are great for pet owners, not so much for people who are really allergic to pet hair, and etc. Yeah, that actually is something that impacts me. For example, I want people to be able to bring their pets to work, or to be able to, like, I lived in the UK for a few years, and I loved that there was often like, a pub dog. It's definitely a lot more of a friendly environment than a sterile, no pets, no everything allowed. On the other hand, I am nervous around dogs because I have been bitten by dogs, and unfortunately, being nervous around a dog makes a dog nervous around you, which makes them more likely to bite you. So I just try to give dogs a wide berth. But if somebody brings in a big dog to an office where I'm working, that's gonna make me really uncomfortable and stress me out a little bit. So it's like, how do we, accommodate all of that? I think there's one thing we can all agree on, though, is people should not wear heavy amounts of perfume or aftershave or any other scents. It's like, take that back to the 1970s. Because we don't want that. That was something that I learned actually when I was in high school, because I was doing theater, and you're on stage with a whole bunch of other people, because we were doing like musicals and stuff, so you'd have a whole chorus of people on stage together. And our theater teacher was like, don't wear any strong scents when you're on stage. So like, if the person next to you can smell it, it's too strong, because we don't need people sneezing and all of that on stage. Also learned that if you are gonna sneeze or rub your nose or anything, you better do it in character. But yeah, so that was something it hadn't occurred to me really at the time. But then after that, I was like, oh yeah, of course this makes total sense. You got to be thinking about these people around you. So that's something I've carried with me since then. This is the racetrack right here, and I use it to get from place to place in the questing. So now I'm gonna jump off the racetrack, so I think the road was there last year, and a lot of us were using the road last year. not realizing that it was intended for another purpose. Oh, and this is your reminder that when you're fishing, keep an eye to make sure that your sparkly spot does actually go away, because you can fish and end up with tokens, like a little pouch of tokens, but you won't necessarily get a notification. You get a notification that you got a quest item, but it gives you the same notification if you got a fish. There you go. So that went away. It does say caught a fish, though. But if you're not really paying attention, you know, like sometimes it happens. You know, sometimes I'm rolling through festival and I'm watching a video on the other screen and so forth. I actually had that happen, I think, the other day where I was running somebody through and didn't notice that they'd gotten a pouch and had to go back a fishing spot. I'm like, at the next one, I'm like, why can't I fish? It's like, oh, the other one didn't count yet. I gotta go back. Also, this waterfall is so loud, so funny. I will pause videos when I come here. And like before I was sitting in the room the other day and he was like, all of a sudden, you know, it got really noisy on my computer and he's like, what? Ah, waterfall. Sorry, I got a little itch here going on. I have a spot of skin that probably should get looked at. Add that to the things that I maybe should talk to the doctor about. My doctor is overburdened, and I don't like talking to her because she always makes me feel like I'm a burden. I know that's not the right thing. I should just go talk to her anyway, but... And then I know they, like... One of the doctors in the practice is retiring, and so they're all taking on extra load, and they're reorganizing the whole thing anyway, and etc. Oh, here's a trick that B4 taught me. So somewhere along this edge, and I think it's that point there. There it is. It is that point. So there's kind of like a point here, not me, the ground, that, see how the shore is a little bit wavy in different points? Anyway, if you can stand on this sandbar and you don't have to go into the swimming part, so you can stay mounted. So that's a nice little time saver. Kathy B says, hello and good evening. Good evening to you as well. Now, I've been skipping that tree because there's a tree at the end that's actually a little bit closer to my route. So, yeah, I just keep on going. I kind of go swimming spot, swimming spot. That's easy to remember. Oh, I don't need to keep this kite up anymore. This one I don't have like a visual thing for yet, though. But yeah, finding about that that point on the sandbar, that's been really a nice little game changer for me. So I'll show it again on the next character. We'll just keep rolling through the characters and getting, you know, doing quests and getting more experience and stuff like that. Oh yeah, so this is another part of the racetrack. And so there's some new things, like all these high grasses I'm pretty sure are new. So as you are coming through just questing, you of course may want to, you know, go through this part where it's easier to see, but that's where you'll find the racers coming. So I do kind of tend to hug inside those a little bit more than maybe I would otherwise. Now here we've got jumping things that they have to jump over or navigate around. So I tend to go around this way because I don't need to go through the middle of that. And again, high grasses, but I'm actually headed over here for this seashell anyway. So I feel like I'm not really in the way of anybody who's racing there, probably. She's so funny. She looks very happy here. Whoopsie. We just run right by. So I don't know if there's any role-playing happening out on this side of the beach, though. Or if it's just on that other side where it's pretty wide and expansive, you know? because this is a cool little spot. But I think people would have to be like hanging out in the water in order to hear a band. Probably. So, I don't know if there's any music that happens over here or not. I do love the little cluster of seashells, though. Those are cool. Alright, cool. We're out of here. So I was previously going over to the shore, mounting up, and then riding over. But I think this is about the same amount of time, if not faster, to just swim directly to it. And also, as soon as it pops up, I can go ahead and click on it, and it takes me directly there, as opposed to having to navigate myself around the water. Oops, I moved myself. So I think that works out pretty good. Oh, my fishing went up to 22. That's funny. Alright, so this is, these are seashells 7 and 8. And then after I pick up number 8, I'm actually within range of the tree that I need to finish off the cook stuff. So it's right there. So this feels, I mean, maybe it's about the same off the path as going the other one, but it's right there while I'm already doing stuff, so it kind of makes sense. I don't know. It's been working for me. And now I have everything done. So I did a loop, and I didn't have to backtrack except for, like, doing those quests for the guys at the beach. Now, of course, I come back through here, but you rarely run into somebody who's just going off for the, for the race. So then I come back to town, and I make a clockwise loop, starting with the kite person. So turning into that one. Cool.
May the seas be calm.
And then heading over to the guy who had like the cat. The one with the cats and the flotsam and seagulls. Now as you get up to him, that completes a quest.
May the seas be calm and the winds fair.
And then each of these
Good
is a
day to
quest
you,
that we're
traveler.
completing with him.
Good day to you, traveler.
Which would matter if you were doing the wrapper as well.
Fair winds to you. Umbar
Yeah.
is a free city at last. Umbar
Cool.
is a free city
All
at
right,
last.
so made some progress
May
there.
the seas be calm and the
Now, we
winds
don't have
fair.
a wrapper to turn in. Oh, but we do have food to turn in.
May the seas
Finish
be calm
now.
and the winds
So every so
fair.
often I realize that I have forgotten to pick up the cook quest. And so when I come in to do the
Umbar
picnic
is a
basket,
free city at
I end up
last.
picking up the quest then,
May
which,
the
so
seas
that
be
works out
calm
just
and
fine.
the winds fair.
Okay, well, we're done with her. So let's switch over. Excuse me, I'm about to sneeze. Nope, turned into a yawn. I have a fan going on me, and I think it just disrupted whatever was going on there, so I didn't get the sneeze. Oh well, I was a little congested for a minute. Alright, somebody was asking me one day if I have any other characters aside from hobbits. So let's come on with my stout axe. Answer is yes, I do have other characters aside from just hobbits, but not a lot. Most of them are hobbits or high elves. I went through a high elf phase, so I do have a handful of high elves as well. Oh, time to talk to Wenda. Okay, let me deal with that. How am I doing on festival
How
tokens?
can I be of service?
175, and the cap is 250. I think we'll be fine. Okay, but I do need to go to Wenda. So I think what we'll do is we'll go over to Bree. So I'll use Lalia's market because I know Sylphie has that. So, because I need to get to Wenda, and there's no Wenda at Furtherholm. So I need to either go to housing, because there's a Wenda in the center of every housing neighborhood, or Bree, or I think she's like in one or two other places. But this one's easy enough because you just come right out of Lalia's Market, and here we are, and here's our window. So accept and
Would you
finish.
do something for me? How can I be of service?
Drink the bowl. Okay, so now I do want to head over to Furtherholm, and I'm pretty sure we don't have anything else going on. We've got gathering guests at Minas Tirith. Oh, I guess we could do that since I have it. And I got the good deeds at Yuletime still. I got it on a couple of characters. Okay, so actually we want to go to Midsummer Minas Tirith. Oh, but I'll just go ahead and show you anyway. The reason I was gonna come here, oh, I could have used the pony, prancing pony, to get me to the front gate. That's okay. It's not that much further. Oh, a couple things. Okay, so if you were doing the quest at Minas Tirith Midsummer, that where they want the banner of the newlywed, you can talk to this person here who sends you to get stuff all over Bree, and then you come back and she gives you this kit where you can then go to Minas Tirith and make the banner of the newlyweds. And then there's another person. Who's the other one? Oh, Barlaman. You talk to Butterbur, and he would give you a quest to go and do some tidying up in the prancing pony, and then he would also give you that same kit. So
would you do something for me?
There's 4 different kits that you can get during the festival, and so the banner of the newlywed, that kit you get here from Bree, and there's 2 different ways to get that. So you can do both of them, and they both will give you the stuff. And you also get festival tokens, and they count for festival quests, and you get legendary item experience. So, I mean, they're not bad to do. I'm just not in the mood. There's also a pair by the party tree, and that gives you, I think, the biscuits one. That would make sense. It's food. There's a pair somewhere for the elves and somewhere for the dwarves. There's a pair as well. I think the dwarves one, you gotta go collect berries and stuff. So you gotta go like far into Thorin's Hall and find like down in the crafting area. There's a guy who has a couple of quests, or has one quest, and then who's the other one? The other quest is around there too, I think. So that means you have to go all the way back out, find the berries, go to the waterfall, do the stuff, and then you got to come all the way back in to turn those into those guys. I don't know. It just seems like they're a lot of work for a little reward. So it's only if you're really into these kits that it's really worth doing, in my opinion. But sometimes it's fun, and sometimes it's really easy and handy, because then you can take like a scholar or whatever and just have them make all of the thing that the scholar can make. Because of the 4 different things, yeah, there's like a floral arrangement maybe, and there's biscuits, like breads. There's that kit, the banner, and there's one other thing. So basically, between those 4 different kits, every different kind of maker has something they can make. So there's something that the woodworkers can do. There's something that the scholars can do. There's something, for all of the metal workers and all of that. So all of those different, professions have, the different crafting professions have something that they can do. The ones that make. Farmer doesn't count. Like the gatherers don't count. It's the making ones. But, so if your character has any one of the making professions, they have things that they could do, which is nice. They're also not bound. So you can have a character make up a ton of them, put them in your shared storage, and then like every further character that goes through and is doing those quests in Minas Tirith could just stand there and be like, take the quest, take the quest, take the quest, take the quest, go into shared storage, get the stuff, turn it in, turn it in, turn it in, turn it in. So that's a nice, quick, and easy way to do it once you've prepped. But it does take some preparing to make that happen. Okay, but we're going to go to Minas Tirith. We're going to knock out that finding people quest. Now that we know where it is, up on top, since we just did that about half an hour ago. Yeah, Casper is zonked out again. He's like curled himself up and he's got his back feet going. So he's got one of his back feet basically like up against his head. And he seems perfectly happy with this arrangement. Pretty funny. Okay, I want to take the city stables.
How may I help you, friend?
And go to the high stables. Now, what it does, though, is it's sending me to the stables, which is further. But I want to actually make a U-turn and go up, which is back here. So I dismount, like, as soon as I'm able, and then get on this little track to go up. So if you're not familiar with Midsummer Minas Tirith, or just Minas Tirith in general, if you're coming up from the city stable, if you're coming up to the high stables, and you need to come up here, that is a thing to do, is to just jump off right away and turn around. Okay, so we see the potential visitors. So we're looking for somebody. Now, I think it's random. She crossed her arms. Is that a... I don't know. Does that count? Well, he just crossed his arms. Let's see what the other two are doing. That was a no. And a head scratch. Oh, that definitely is the sign. There's some signs. And that looks unhappy. Yeah, alright. Hey, buddy. Would you like to go to somewhere else? He would absolutely love to go somewhere else. Bless you. What a wonderful idea. You are welcome. Deed bestowed. I have gathered a guest. If you do all of them, which are like a whole bunch of different places, like Trestle Bridge and 21st Hall and stuff like that, you get a title, The Relentless. Which, yeah, that seems fitting. Alright. Because we are also done with Sylphie, with the festival, we've done all the wrapper stuff, so there's no daily wrapper to pick up anymore. Oh yeah, before it does point out that it's more flexible now, but in the time when this was created, in the time of vocations, you couldn't have professions and not have a production profession. Yeah. Since this festival was created in 2020,
These are
and
troublesome times indeed.
the days of now, they have separated those out, so you can pick 3 professions that have nothing to do with anything and not connected or anything, and end up with no production profession. You know, let's go ahead and do the feeding the horses while we're here. Plus, Sylphie's up to like 129, so we're getting really close to that 130, 131 goal.
What is it?
Probably won't get there today, but might get to 130 actually today with Sylphie. Yeah. Casper was super zonked. But I just moved something by his head and it woke him up. I think you should just go back to sleep, buddy. You do not look awake. Alright, so let's take care of the horses again. Apples for the well-behaved. And grooming for the disheveled. Yeah. Doop-a-doo. And then we are... So festival ends overnight tonight, by the way. So this is your last full day of festival. This is your warning. That's why I put it in the title, Last Day. Because this is the final day. When the server resets at 3 o'clock server time, 3 a.m., then festival goes away. So if you have any last minute festival things to do, today is your day. So stock up on, you know, all the goodies from the quest festival givers and from all the barterers and whatnot. Today is your day. Alright, well, I wonder if we get any credit for doing this. Let's see.
Good day to you, traveler.
Is it a quest that gives me, like, experience? Or is it just travel? I've used it before, I'm pretty sure. But it says go talk to the guy inside, so sure, let's find out. Oh, it's the gathering guest that I'm going to get credit for. Oh, no. No, the weekly. Oh.
Good day to you,
Oh.
traveler.
That's not... I'm not going to get that done. Like, complete it 7 times. That's just not going to happen, buddy. So, yeah, no. Apparently, coming and talking to him did not give me anything. I mean,
Umbar is a
from
free
the
city
quest
at
giver
last.
in Minas Tirith.
Good day to you, traveler.
Okay, so yeah, if I forget to pick up the
Fair winds
cooking
to you.
quest here, it's really funny because, yeah, because the route that I do, I come back to them to get the picnic basket before
May the
I
seas
go
be
out to
calm
collect
and the
anything
winds
for the cook.
fair.
So
Umbar
that
is a free
is
city
handy.
at last.
All right.
Good day to you,
Good
traveler.
day to you.
Umbar is a free city at last.
All right.
You are most welcome, my friend.
Let's go grab them a nice drink. Yeah, before it says it's not going to happen unless they extend the festival at the last minute. I usually they give more than 24 hours notice if they're going to extend the festival, and usually there's some sort of extenuating circumstances like servers were down or
Welcome,
you know something big was happening or whatnot. Now, Europe was under a heat wave. Some people may have missed out because it was too hot to turn on their computers, but I don't
Fair winds
think
to you.
that is getting us any extra days.
Umbar is a free city at last.
All right,
May
but we
the
have all of
seas
our
be
quests for
calm
this guy.
and
So
the
I
winds
usually mount up
Fair winds to you.
at this point and start going around. So I'm going to do the scruffy cat, catch a seagull, another seagull, another seagull, another cat. And then I pick up the book quest
Fair winds
as I'm
to
going
you.
around. So this is where I'm going to make a circle and take myself back around in and then go to the inn. I guess it's over there on your screen. So I'm making a circle in that way. So I'm going to go from here, pick up the quest, see a cat, fish, go inside, grab the book, do the house cleaning while I'm there, come back out, swim across to get the swimming credit, and then finish up with the sandcastle, the fishing, because I need to do that fishing. Well, actually, that fishing before I can come and do this fishing. So that's why I do it in that order. And so I'm just making circles.
Umbar is a free city.
But I'm trying to be
at
very
last.
productive in my circles. Now, this cat I don't always get right now. Sometimes, especially if like somebody is shooed away. This weekend, you could tell a lot of people were on that hadn't gotten the quest because, or the deed, where you got to do yes cats and no cats. Each at least once in order to finish the deed. And it seemed like a lot of people had not done the no cats because cats were getting shooed away through the weekend. Well, at least through the day I was on. I think it was Saturday, probably. Yeah, I had the schedule up. I should take a look here again in a second. There we go. Do I still have it up? I do. So, yeah, let's see. Midsummer is ending. And then... Did I get a fish? Okay, got a fish. Do I have a kite? I have a kite. Good. Let's see. What's coming up next? 10% loot box, embers, and moats bonus. Oh, that already happened. Sorry, it's sorted by starting date, not ending date. Let's see what's happening starting in July. Okay, starting July 1st, there is a hard tack crafting event. Starts tomorrow. The next day, we've got a 20% virtue XP boost. That goes for a couple days through the 6th. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So till Monday. So all the way through basically Sunday. Okay, I gotta go in and get a book. But might also talk to this cat while we're here. Oops, did I move too fast? Oh, I did. I thought it was done. Did not wait till the induction bar was done. Tut, tut, tut. Let's see. So virtue XP boost, and then I'm gonna go do this room first. Forester, we talked about that. Oh no. Forester crafting happens on the 15th, whereas hardtack happens on the 1st. So different weeks. Loot box, embers, and moats bonus from 25% bonus there. Oh, Angmar is going up. Angmar and Mordor are going up to 115 in September. Let's see, Myrtle Mint should be coming. Ah, Ill Omens. That's actually on our calendar. Before we went ahead and put it on our calendar so we wouldn't forget about it. So that starts July 23rd. Excuse me. So if you're into doing the Ill Omens, sorry, I went the wrong way. July 23rd is this year, is when it starts. And it goes for like 3 weeks, because it's until August 12th, it says. And then we got some Hobnanigans at the beginning of... I think Hobnanigans is it's currently scheduled at the beginning of every even-numbered month. So some Hobnanigans, and then Hardtack comes back. Oh, now we're into August, though. XP Boost. Farmer's Fair. There we go. August 13th. So we have a dry spell through July, except for the Ill Omens, I suppose. All right, I'm going to go ahead and turn this in.
Good
Are
day
we leveling?
to you, traveler.
Nope, not yet. Yummer. All right, got to go give this book to this lady, though. So let's go do that. Cafe B says, the no to cats I only do once per character for the deed. After that, never again. Yeah, exactly. I'm the same way. I always do yes for cats and just do the no once. And so I can get the deed. And in fact, I had gotten to the point where I didn't have the deed on every character, but I couldn't remember which characters had it. So each day, as I was kind of getting close to the end of the wrappers, I was like, the character would go to pick it up, and I'd be like, okay, do you have the deed? Yes or no? If you don't have it, what do you need? Okay, let's do it. So then I kind of do little check boxes so I could keep track of who I'd checked on already. But now I've got all 5 of these have finished the deed. So they all have the title and everything. It's very funny. But yeah, I'm not a fan of no for cats because I don't like them running off and stuff. Plus, you know, it's nicer when they're there. Like, I really appreciate how, even though the seagulls aren't like physically present, if somebody is like just run by and shoot it off, like that one will disappear or fly away, or maybe that one doesn't, but even if they're not there, they've flown away because somebody ran by, you still get credit for it if you go over the spot, which I'm like, thank you for being like that. I really appreciate that. Okay, so we are gonna go, we're gonna talk to the sassy cat on our way. Sassy cat. So now we're heading to the beach. Also, by the way, with the sassy cat, if you follow it out here to where it despawns, you have enough time to interact with it right before it despawns to do it. So like if somebody else sends it off, you can follow it and basically click on it as soon as it stops moving. You can click on it and you still get to interact with it, so you don't have to wait for it to come back. So that's nice. Excuse me. Forgot how to swallow for a minute. Ay, ay, ay. Goodness gracious. Alright, so now we're gonna get we're getting a cushion. So if you haven't already done the cat over here, now's the time. You can, your second chance. Alright, so we'll go give the cushion, and then we'll pick up the quest to get the picnic basket.
Greetings, friend.
So this is like 2 in a row where it's
my
like
friends, come.
pick up quest from a person who wants something, go back to the town and grab it. Pick up the next one, go back to town and grab it. So I do those 2 back to back because just like right here, and it doesn't seem to loop in easily. like, it doesn't seem to slot in any better in any other better routing. Now, I would be curious to see if, like, the LOTRO devs have a different opinion on, you know, what's the most effective way to do it. Okay, so I have the picnic basket, and I've come in here to get it filled. So now is that chance when, if I haven't already gotten their helping the cook quest, I could pick that up right now. So that has happened to me a couple of times where I'm like, oh, oopsie. Okay. So now I'm going back out to drop that off. Somebody's kite was looking weird on my screen. And the funny thing is, they're right in line with that every time I come around the corner. So sometimes I'll click on like the
plenty to do.
The race marshal, and I'm heading out that way. It's like, nope, that's not who I need.
Greetings, traveler.
So again, I dismount as I'm get the first box because all the others are inductions, and so you got to be standing still. But this way, I have the kite out already, and I can get credit for my kite like right about here. On my way to the sandcastle, and then I should be done with kites. Go fly kite, yes, and I can put it away. So then I finish going along the beach. Oh yeah, I was gonna do a horse race to show you guys what that looks like, but maybe I'll try and remember to do it with Selfie here on when I finish the route. Sand castle, castle of sand. And then the last one of these. So that finishes the sand castles. This will finish this one. So now I do the water here and knock that out the way. And then I go up the hill, and that's when I'm starting to collect for the cook. So by this point, you want to have, if you're following the route that I'm doing, you would want to have the quest from the cook. If you're doing it, Now, before and I both have had these conversations on stream, especially he's done a lot more of it on stream, discussing like if you were going to only do 10 because you want to go as fast as you can, get your 10, get your wrapper out of the way, that sort of thing. You know, which ones do you skip? So that's also an option. To just skip the cook. And I mean, he's got opinions on, because the thing is you're already going around the island to do a number of other things. So what parts of the island can you skip and thereby skip those quests? And if you're still going, you know, to various places, like if I didn't do the swimming, I could skip going out here, I could skip going here, but I'm already going here for the seashells and the fishing. So, and I'm already going through here for the other things, and I'm already going over here. It's just not really that far out of the way. So how much of a savings is it to not do the swimming versus, I don't know, stopping and picking up every, you know, leaf and berry that I find, right? So it's not that bad, but you know what I mean? But so it's like, where's the optimization? And, you know, is not doing fishing one of the things? Because if I wasn't doing fishing and I wasn't doing the cook, I wouldn't come over here at all. On the other hand, it really depends on what you're trying to optimize. Like, are you trying to optimize for time? Then, yeah, just doing 10 and being done with it's probably the way to go. If you're trying to optimize for tokens, you probably do want to do fishing because you have the chance to get a bonus 10, you know, and it seems to be a pretty good drop rate on that. So yeah, it really depends on what you're trying to optimize. For me, I'm trying to get the most amount of, well, I'm trying to get a big chunk of character experience, because I'm trying to level the characters and I'm using festival to do it. So I want to do all the quests I can that are interconnected, and I'm not going, You know, like I'm not doing the ones in Bree and the Shire and stuff like that because they're far out of the way. Actually, the Shire ones aren't too bad. They're pretty close to where you're at. But like I'm not doing the one in Bree because you run all over the place. I'm not doing the one in Thorin's Hall because you run all over the place. And so it's not a real, it's a lot of time for some reward versus this, which is about in 20 minutes, I can do like 12 quests. That seems like a pretty good return on time value. Now, Before has some thoughts that he's put into the chat, so let me get a drink and stuff. As I throw myself off the mountain. And again, we're looking for that point, which I believe is here. Yeah. So then I don't even have to go in the water. So cool. All right. So, Before's thoughts on this are, he says, I think fishing contributes the most extra time. You're already there, but it's plus on average 30 seconds per spot at 4 different spots. So that's an extra 2 minutes, basically. He says offering help is the next worst because of the back and forth from the South Beach without having other things to do on the way. So that's the one where you're going and giving people the book and the cushion and all that. Then he says swimming is, after offering help, is the next worst because of the 2 western points that don't overlap with anything else, like the 2 I just did. And then he says assisting the cook is the next worst after that because nothing is too out of the way, but there's so much cooking. So there you go. So those are the 4 that are most likely to that a person might, you know, be looking at to remove if you're trying to optimize for time. So now Ginger says I do the out of the way ones when I do the in-league run. Now that makes sense because you're already kind of going to a lot of the various places. No, Before says there's an in-league in Furtherholm. I have not seen the in-league or the Ale Association in Furtherholm, but that's funny. No, but doing the ones like in Thorin's Hall and Bree and stuff like that. Yeah. That is of which we speak. There we go. Here, fishy, fishy. Wrong festival, right? Oh, see? Fishing is not done. Try again. I got a quest item. You're too busy to do that right now. But there it is, sitting in my inventory. I have a soggy coin pouch. Surely a great treasure lies within. That's funny. I don't know, is it? It's bound to a count. So I could pass it off to somebody else. That's a funny idea. It's one of those things that it makes you think that, like, you know, someday they may change something about it because it's kind of a newer thing. And so I'm like, if I put it in my shared storage, I would just be waiting for it to get broken. So I think I'll just leave it on this character for now. Now Ginger says the way I do it, I don't pick the quest up, I just go to the member in need. Yeah, so that definitely works with the in-league, and I do like that way of doing the in-league where you just have all the drinks on you, and then you just go to the in-league member and give them their drink. The only thing, though, is if you're, like, trying to super optimize for tokens and whatnot, then doing the Ale Association and the in-league together is really the way to go, right? Oh, and Ginger says, and I have all the drinks in my bag. Yeah, that's a smart thing. That is something that at some point I would like to have a space in my shared storage where I'm keeping those drinks. I think that would be really handy. for doing in-league and Ale Association runs. But yeah, so if you want to do the pair together, then you do have to pre-pick up the Ale Association. That's so cute. I haven't seen that pony there before. The Ale Association quests. And then they have a 1 hour time limit. But you can do the whole thing in less than 30 minutes, so that's not a problem. But you have to pre-pick up the quests before you get to the member, and you have to show up at the member with the drink they're requesting, which is like a wrong version of the thing they're requesting. So if they want like a white Dorwinian wine, you get them a red Dorwinian wine, that kind of thing. So you have to, so the Ale Association is a little more tricky because you have to get the quest to go give the person the wrong thing, then you have to go get the wrong thing, and then you have to go to the person, the in-league member, and give them the wrong thing. So that complicates it, but you still don't have to pick up the in-league stuff at least. So what we've done when we were trying to optimize all that, so we would grab all the Ale Association quests, and then we had a route that you would go to, you know, this place, pick up the drink or drinks, you know, so you'd like intersperse picking up drinks and delivering them to various people. And so when you get to the person, exactly, Ginger says the ale guys, you have to get the drink after the quest. Exactly. So we would pick up the quests, all 10 or 12 of them, and then like pick up the drink that's there. Then go to another place, pick up another drink. Then go to another place, pick up another drink. And then go here, drop off this drink. But the way it works is that then, and Ginger probably already knows this, that you drop off the bad drink to the person, and then you, once that's completed, that counts as a quest, and you get a reward. And then you pick, since you're standing right there, staring at them, you can then pick up the in-league quest from them, and because you have them in your bank or whatever, then you just give them the drink. So it's pretty efficient that way. There are 11. Ah, I was close.
May the seas be calm
In between.
and the
Okay,
winds
I'll go ahead and
fair.
do the festival run here. And I'll show you all what it looks like to do the festival run going around the outside. Because there's two options you can do. You can follow the track all the way around here, or you can follow the track, and at one point there's like a shortcut that takes you through the center. And they, as in my experience so far, they come out about the same. All right, let's go. Either way, you have a series of gates you have to go through. So there's the first one. And so, yeah, so there's some new obstacles like that to jump over and stuff like that that I don't remember seeing last year. Some of these may have been in place, but like I'm pretty sure these weren't here last year. Oh, toes on top of things. And I guess you don't have to jump, right? You can just go through like that. Okay. That's not so bad. And then this one, yeah, there's a little boost there. I don't know where that comes from. Okay, so here's where you choose. You could go up that way or down this way. So we'll go down this way. And I don't want to end up in the water. So I'm going to try and like hug the coastline a little bit. I feel like the water slows me down. And especially it would slow me down if I got dismounted. Okay, this one I think you also get a boost if you are able to navigate these guys properly. But I'm not sure how long that boost lasts. I mean, I think it only lasts while you're in that area of the zone, I think. Anyway, we're coming along on the beach area where people will do role-playing. And then there's the end of it. So you see I only had, I mean, more than a sliver, but it wasn't a lot.
Good day to you, traveler.
Good day to you. Oh, I didn't look to see how much that went up. Alright, well let's go turn in all these quests that I got. Because we have completed. So we actually came in over there. I just did a horse race, brought me back to here. Which is fine, because I actually want to come over here and turn in the kite one first. So I'd do that.
May the seas be calm and the winds fair.
And then we'll go to cat guy.
May the seas be cold and the
There we
winds
go. 130. Yay. Which
Umbar is a free
means
city at
a
last.
bunch of
Fair
things.
winds to you.
New mail from Gloin. Thanks, Gloin. Title awarded. There we go. Because I completed... Not that one. What is it? A class race epic? Is that where it goes? What is it under? Oh, I can probably look at my... Oops. Wait. Did the... Hang on. I'm gonna look at my deed tracker. Huh. That should have completed... Hang on, sorry. Words. Doing the difficulty slider, which I am. I'm on difficulty 3, Fearless. So, well, I can look at that character thing again. I just got a title, Master of Runes. Alright, let me look at D-Tracker. How about here? Nope. Oh, is it under the war? No. I'm not sure where it ends up. Not there. But basically, it's a pair of deeds that for finishing, getting to level 130, it finishes... That's why I'm surprised it didn't show up properly. Where is it? Anyway, for each one of your characters that you're on the difficulty path and you don't leave it, you get on it before level 11 and you don't leave, and you get up to level 130, you get a pair of... well, you get a deed, and then I was on level 3 or higher, so, oh gosh, there's a whole bunch of things I haven't looked at. It's definitely not lieutenants. Oh, maybe it's a class thing. Hang on. There it is. Achieve 130th level playing through on Fearless difficulty or higher as a Runekeeper. So that finished, I got Master of Runes, and then there was another one that was just achieve 130th level playing through on any difficulty, like the lowest one or higher. So there's one you get for getting to level 50, and then there's another one that you get for getting to level 130. So that should have just finished like another pair of deeds, basically. So this is under class. Oh, is it not in the deed tracker? That's interesting. I'll have to mention that to before. That I'm not seeing it here. But anyway, yeah, so you get an account-wide title. You don't get anything, like, you don't get any LOTRO points or anything like that. But you do get an account-wide title. So every one of your characters would now have this title. I'm just trying to find what's the other one. See, Apprentice was level 50. Apprentice of Runes. Adept of Runes. Oh, Adept is the other one. Okay. So I just finished Adept of Runes and Master of Runes. I just got those two titles for getting to 130 on a Runekeeper by being and playing at that level 1, playing at difficulty or higher, which is level 3. So I could like stop playing on difficulty if I want to at this point. Now I don't know if there's any need to. I think you get extra stuff anyway, so it's fine. I get 20% experience gain on monster kills, and plus 5% virtue XP earned. So, you know, that's fine. So anytime I get virtue experience, I get a 5% bonus, so that's
Umbar
nice.
is a free city at last.
Cool.
Umbar
Yay,
is a free city
Sylvie.
at last. Good day to you, traveler. Umbar is a free
I had bought up a
city
bunch
at
of
last.
perk points as well to kind of accelerate the
Good day to you, traveler.
experience gain. But we'll get all these turned in.
Umbar is a free
Finish
city
getting
at
experience
last.
there. And then that's the weekly, yeah, no. What does
May
it
the
give you?
seas be calm
Ally
and the
experience and Midsummer
winds
token.
fair.
Okay. I don't feel like I'm missing out, so that's okay. Alright, let's log out of Sylphie. And switch over to... Who's next on my list? Feldspar. Let's do that. Because they're not all 130 or 131 yet. We're still working on it. Funny thing is, the hunter that I have that's doing this difficulty path, is my main, was my main on Treebeard, who's now my main over on Peregrine. And we are doing the slow path with those characters. We're doing our, those are our completionist characters. Oh, I forgot to talk to, oh no, I did. But this character does need to talk to Wenda, and I think it has run out. Now, there's no combat. So technically, it wouldn't matter. Oh, do I still have the Midsummer thingy with this one too? I do. Minas Tirith. Okay. You know what? We'll just go... Hey, I got a couple of titles awarded. I now have Master of Runes, and the other one that we looked up. So, yeah. Runes. As we talked about, it's a... these are account-wide titles. So yeah, all of my characters now, every time I log in to a new character, it's going to tell me I have a title, Adept of Runes and Master of Runes. You have walked upon dark roads through Middle Earth. So those are the 4 different rune-based titles that I've gotten. But I could use it on any character, so that's kind of fun. Let's see, I want to... Where am I going to go? Where do we want to go in order to talk to a Wenda? What's the easiest way? Yeah, we'll do Lalia's Market. That'll be the easiest one. So yeah, if you are ever trying to really crank out some festival tokens, doing the In-League and Ale Association are really great for that, because you get these tokens of distaste, badge of dishonor. I think that's right. Badge of taste, badge of dishonor.
Will you give me a moment of your time, friend?
Forget the words now.
Hello there.
But anyway, they give you tokens that apply to their faction. And then you can go to their faction's headquarters and use those tokens to buy festival token boxes. Just like the ones that I have. Okay, so we did our Wenda. We're now back and good for another 14 days of not having any wear and tear on any weapons or any of that business. So I want to go back to Furtherholm. Oh wait, no. I want to go to Minas Tirith, don't I? Because I want to do that thing. Okay, do I have... I do. I went ahead... So I have one milestone by default, right? On every character. And after you get past Novice, you get, you know, a free milestone that you can play with. So what I've been doing is when a character is doing festival, when we get that map, when you first log in, you know, and you get the, like, the email or whatever, and they give you a map. I've been using that to get to the place, and then setting my milestone to the new festival location.
What is it?
So when this festival started, I set all my festivaling characters to Midsummer Minas Tirith. So that's where their milestone is set to. At least one if they have more than one. So Okay. Let's go talk to some horses. Almost past this one. Okay. And I go back to the middle. So I do the 2 on the first side, the same side that you get the boxes. I do the 2 horses there, and then the 1 in the middle, and that's half of them. And then the other 3 are down this side. So I just kind of start at the top and work my way down. And then that gets me back to the quest giver, basically. So that's the most efficient pathing that I have found for this. Now, if I really wanted to crank out the XP on these characters, I could absolutely be going and doing like all the quests at Furtherholm and then all the quests at Minas Tirith, you know. Like, I could absolutely spend time doing that for sure. Hi, stables. Dismount. Mount my own. Meow. I was at the physio today and we did some, she did some work on my neck and shoulders and it is starting to feel sore. Alright, we gotta go up here. Alright, so we're looking for a person who is not happy. Okay, that's normal Minas Tirith midsummer activity. So is that. But what are they like when nobody's looking? Alright, she's nodding yes, so she's fine. No problems there. So it's one of these 3. That she crossed her arms. He just nodded yes. Okay, so it's one of these 2. Well, I can get 2 wrong. Was it that guy? Yes. He just didn't go anywhere. That's so funny. Nudie guess, yeah, so I have gathered this guest and now I need to go back and talk to the guy in Furtherholm. Well, the other folks ran off. I guess this guy just took the invitation and snuck it into his pocket and he'll deal with it later. Alright. Yeah, gonna be doing some stretching today. And tomorrow. Alright, so I'm gonna go back down to the city stables. If I had like a
sometimes indeed.
if I had like a 5-minute cooldown on my milestones like I do with my main character, I would probably just use that. Because it's probably been 5 minutes, but not in this case. Alright, so yeah, check this section. Okay, so I picked this up, return to Furtherholm.
May the seas be calm and
It's on my list. Okay, so, and then it says, travel to Furtherholm and let us be off travel now. And the quest is talk to the guy inside. But does it go away? It just went away. How funny. Probably because I've already completed it. I've probably used it before. Completed, return to Furtherholm. Oh, I should have watched to see if it gave me any credit. Like, does it count as a quest? Alright. Well, there's that.
Is a free city at
Yay.
last.
And then you're going to give me the weekly, aren't you? I am not interested. Thank you. Anyway, maybe next year.
Good day to you, traveler.
We'll see.
Umbar is a free city.
We shall see. That's more likely to be something that I will
May
do
the
on
seas
my
be
main
calm
and probably
and the
not worry
winds
about
fair.
on most of the rest of the characters. I just went ahead and picked up the Minas Tirith one with most of the folks because I was like, well, I'm probably
Good
there
day
during
to
festival,
you, traveler.
but as
Is
it
a
turns
free
out, not
city
really.
at last.
I've been doing Furtherholm pretty much the whole time,
Good day to
most of
you,
it.
traveler.
I
May
think
the
we did
seas
some
be calm
Minas
and
Tirith
the
on
winds
stream,
fair.
like maybe the first week. Sandcastle.
You're most
Hello.
welcome, my friend.
How many drinks would you like? Because somebody else was right there. Yep. Alright, let's all go give her drinks.
You are most welcome, my friend.
Nice. And then, yeah, if I think about it, I mount up because I'm just coming right over here, but nothing I do with this guy is gonna
May the seas be calm and the
dismount
winds
me,
fair.
so
Umba
then I'm already
is a
mounted and
free
ready for the
city
next
at
one,
last. Good day to you,
which is
traveler.
interacting with the cat.
May the seas be calm and the winds fair.
So, Ginger, are you one of the folks who's doing some of the role-playing out here in the off-season? And if so, I'm curious as to, like, where on the island,
May the
or
seas be
multiple
calm
locations,
and the
is that
winds
happening
fair.
that you've encountered?
May the seas be
It
calm
never
and
occurred
the
to me
winds
to,
fair.
like, come out here. Oh, you aren't. Okay. Well, never mind. Alright, wow, that was fast. Hungry fishies. Oh yeah, I want to find my kite. Yay! Alright, let's go. Yeah, Ginger says, I did not know you can get there when the fest is not going. It's an instanced area, so it's like with the Furtherholm and such, that if you leave somebody, like a captain, behind, you can pull people in and do stuff. So apparently people have been doing that over the year, which is fascinating. Very cool. Doo-doo. And remember to grab the captivating book. So, Ginger, one of the things that was talked about, and I haven't gone back to see if there's been any more information on it, but when this festival was gearing up and the announcement came out about there being a horse race on here, and some of the RPers were displeased with that knowledge, MVP was saying maybe they could create a permanent way to get out here, like that's available year round. But as of this time, I don't believe that exists yet. I think there's just the festival ones. Still, that'd be kind of cool. A door, let me out. Cool. Yeah, occasionally I'm like, man, it'd be really nice to get out to Winterhome during the off season, because we do there's the Yule calendar, and I want to get like screenshots for it. But the calendar starts like December 1st, and I want to get screenshots
Fair winds
before
to
that.
you.
But Yule Festival doesn't usually start until like first or second week of December, and so I have to wait or go find a different snowy area, or think about it ahead of time and take pictures the previous year for the following year, which I'm gonna guess you can probably guess how that goes. Let me put it this way. I did not take pictures in 2025 to submit for the 2026 calendar. I know everyone is shocked to hear that information. But there's some other snowy areas you can go to, so it's not like a total bust or anything. But it's just, it's kind of nice, you know? I think I managed to interact with the cat. Yes. Ginger says, I usually have a character standing in Winterhome. Yes. And I think people are doing that here with Furtherholm now. That seems to be the pattern. I mean, it's gorgeous, right? So I can understand the attraction to coming out here. Alright, I need to go get this guy a cushion. Whee! And I've already talked to the sleepy cat. Cool. Yeah, I think I might start doing that, Ginger, once I'm done, like, leveling all my characters and stuff. Because I'm trying to level all of the characters who are doing that difficulty path. But once I'm done with them, they're just kind of gonna chill out, and they'll come out for, like, ill omens and stuff like that. But
How can I be of service?
most of the rest of the time, they're just gonna be hanging out, not doing anything. So
Greetings,
I could
traveler.
send whoever my captain is. I forget. It's one of the high elves. Oh, I think it might be... what is her name? What's the... Okay, in the game, who's the character that if you do the high elf intro and she's helping you out? Yeah, Hartharian. I think that's who my captain is. I named her after that character, basically. Like, that character's name is...
Good day to you, traveler.
It's something very similar, and so I named my character Hartharian. I think her name is like Hartharin or something like that. So anyway, I think that's my captain. So I could, like, you know, plant her at Furtherholm or here. Sorry, Furtherholm or Winterhome. I do like how the two places are two, you know, instance places have the similar names. I like
my
the parody
friends,
of that.
come.
Anyway,
Greetings,
yeah,
traveler.
I could stick her at one of these two places. I think I only have the one captain. It's too bad you can't change classes, you know? Or multi-class in any way. That'd be so cool. Hey, Kite's done. Hi, Casper. Somebody's up and about again. Ooh. I keep going to sneeze, that keeps turning into a yawn. Could be because these cats have so much cat hair coming off of them from the summer, from the heat. Anyway, so I'm just like, well, is it worth it to make another captain just so that I can park them at a festival place? Probably not, but I've done sillier things. And... I mean, I have the character slots. Not a lot of them, but I have a couple still. There's also the possibility of, you know, maybe deleting characters someday. Hard to imagine doing that, though. But I have done a few, actually, after the server consolidation, because I... This is the sightseer. When there's a racer coming down, they realize that they're on the racetrack and scream. It's kind of funny. Anyway, yeah, when we did the server consolidations, moving all from the 32-bit servers to the 64s, I had peppered characters, especially on the US side, actually. Characters of the same name on multiple servers. So that way, you know, if I was attending, like, you know, events and stuff like that, that I could just, you know, if I was playing Adamantia most of the time, I could show up, you know, even though I was playing on, like, Laurelin, if there was an event happening on Landreval, I could show up as Adamantia. If it was happening on Crick Hollow, I could show up as Adamantia, and so forth. And then when I switched to Rosenbloom as my main, I kind of did the same thing. So I created a Rosenbloom on each of the servers and tried to dress her similar, you know, to how I dress when I'm running around with other people over on my main, over on Laurelin. So when we combined, and then basically I just sent all of my characters to the roleplay server for the 2 zones. So oopsie, oh no, can I get back up? Oh, okay, cool. I forgot that side's dangerous. So yeah, so if they were on the US, on any of the US servers, I sent them to Peregrine. And if they were on any of the EU servers, they came here to Mary. So what I ended up having was, like, you know, Adamantia -1, -2, -3, -4. And some of those characters, I had never done anything beyond just creating them and dressing them. You know, so they weren't, like, they didn't have a lot of stuff going on. They didn't have a lot of experience. They didn't have a lot of, you know, and I was never going to play them as the character that they were. So I decided that maybe it was all right to go ahead and let go of a couple of those basically placeholder characters. So I did end up deleting a couple of the, what was this point, isn't it? Yeah. A couple of those that have the same name. So, and then I ended up renaming 1 or 2 of them, and I used them in festivals and stuff, but for the most part, I was like, okay to delete them. But then I realized that I needed some of them for storage, or that they were already storing a bunch of stuff, and then I'd have to figure out where to put that stuff, and there wasn't anybody, so I ended up keeping some of them just because of, you know, storage reasons. So they are not getting deleted anytime soon. But I still think I have room on both of the servers for another character if I need to, if I want to get a captain and place them out on the in the festival zones. That'd be kind of funny. But maybe they'll let us have the some ability to get here in the future. I'm actually rather excited about that. I think that'd be really cool. Before it says maybe a map in the background. Even that would be better than nothing. But like some sort of permanent addition to, like, the far-ranging stable master, or a stable master that exists somewhere in the world that you could go to, like in Bree or something, who then would be like, you can go to Furtherholm, you can go to this, you can go to, you know. If they put it at Winterholm to get to Furtherholm, that would be pretty funny. That would be funny. All right, well, I was thinking I might do the horse race with this one, and we'll do, this time we'll go up instead of going down like we did, and that way people can see both of the tracks in one stream, so you can compare them if you want to. Did we get a fish? We got a fish, and we're off. You can have the fan. I am good without it. to beat the heat, we've been using fans, like floor fans, to blow the air over us luxuriously. But I think it has cooled down enough today that I am good without. It's always funny when I sit down to stream because I'm like, am I gonna need, you know, is it gonna be too warm, too hot, you know, too cold, whatever. So I kind of I try to like make sure whatever's in my environment, I can adjust it a little bit if I have to. But that it's hopefully good for 2 hours without me having to get up and do anything. Okay, so let's go and do the race, but going up, taking the shortcut. Yes, I did use air quotes on that shortcut. You'll see why.
Umbar is a free city.
All right,
at
here we
last.
go. Dun, dun, dun. We have begun the race. Yay! So it starts off the same, where we're going along the beach. We have to get over this thing. Whee! See, that was somebody coming the other way, and I did not feel they were distracting or impeding my ability to pay attention to what I'm doing. Maybe it's also because I just did this, like, you know, not 5 minutes ago, but 15 minutes ago? Okay, so this will give us a boost. I don't know where I'm really curious where that point is that gives you the boost, though, and how you can hit that. And is it the whole range? Okay, but here's what we have to choose. So, instead of going down, we're going to go up. So we follow. Thankfully, there is a road to follow. I'm really glad for that. Now, we slow down. And now we have all these branches that we have to jump over. And it's also, like, notice how my pony is going really slow. Yeah, this is muddy, it says. So, like, we're being slowed down pretty regularly through here. Don't know if there's a non-muddy path through there. Alright, but anyway, so here we come down, and then there's going to be the sightseer right there. He's like, oh my gosh! It's kind of funny. Alright, and then you come out, and here's the end. And I find that, look, I have about the same amount of time left as I did with the other way. So, I don't know that one path is better than the other. There might be some optimization that, you know, as we get better at, like, as there's more people get more experience at it, there might be some more optimization parts of it that are discovered, and like
Good day to you, traveler.
you know, things you can go around, but you're still on the track that we've discovered with the other two. Yeah, I'm really kind of interested to see how it evolves in terms of, you know, people finding little things they can do to
May the seas be cold and the
that
winds
explain
fair.
where to find this and how does this
Good day to you,
work and
traveler.
how do we get around this or whatever. It'd be kind
May
of
the
fun.
seas be cold and the winds fair.
All right, so we'll go turn these in.
May the seas be calm and the winds fair. Good day to you, traveler.
Well, it looks like we're gonna
May the
get
seas
closer,
be
but we're not
calm
gonna level on
and the
this one
winds
today.
Fair. Fair winds to you.
Oh, we got another one here to turn in.
Fair winds to you.
Yeah, we still got like, what, a tenth of a bar to go.
May the seas be calm and the
Yeah,
winds
got us
fair.
closer though.
Good day
Yeah,
to you, traveler.
we're still a couple of quests away. That's all right. And then that's the weekly, right? Yeah, we don't want that. And deed bestowed is, oh yeah, the Seaside Sensation. If you complete that Shield Isles Midsummer Run 10 times, I believe it is, then, yeah, 10 times, then you get a title Sea Horsemaster and 500 Virtue Experience, so that ain't bad. Yeah, that's something I probably will work on with my main at some point. I did not hardly play my main for Festival, though. I mean, she didn't do the Festival hardly ever, hardly at all this year. But I figure by next year, most of these guys that I'm trying to level will be done. So then I'll be able to just, like, yeah, move on to going back to my characters that I do festival with in order to accelerate my XP on the legendary items reward track. Which I am getting from doing these guys too, don't get me wrong, that's also been really handy. But it'll be, you know, that is like their main job is just to do that. So I'll be paying more attention to that. Now, okay, I didn't mark her off, but it definitely is clear that she has completed the wrapper. Okay, so no big there. We're just doing a regular run with her. Okay,
Fair winds to
cool.
you.
That was my question. And
Good
she's
day
at
to you,
125, so
traveler.
it's, and like, just a little over
Good
halfway.
day to you,
So I
traveler.
don't know that she's going to level today. But did you notice that I got a pop-up here? Oh, let's see. I got mail that I'm not interested in doing. And I've got a rename, which I'm not going to worry about. But yes, title awarded. Master of Runes and the other thing. Yeah, so like all those, every one of my characters is now getting that runes one. Now there was one that I got that was like Disciple of Song or something like that, which I think came from the Minstrel. Did I finish a Minstrel? Maybe. Anyway, I thought it was kind of a cool title, and so I ended up using it on
Greetings, traveler.
on somebody else that wasn't that class. So I think there are some of the titles that from that are kind of, you know, can be kind of fun to use. Especially the I'm pretty sure it's the minstrel related titles, the ones you get from being a minstrel,
We will
but
do what we can with what we have.
because they're musical in nature, it's kind of fun for like role-playing stuff to have it for role-playing. All right, well, I'm just gonna kind of roll through on this character, see how far we get. But I probably will wrap up here in about 5 to 10 minutes.
Good day to you, traveler.
Or later. Well, don't give yourself indigestions, okay. One time I had my computer turned up a little bit more and that cat sound came up and Casper kind of looked up like, wait, what? Or maybe it was Kato, but one of the cats looked up. It was kind of funny. I was like, yes, that is a cat on screen. A digital version of a cat. But yeah, so after my stream, B4 will be coming on as usual, and he'll be doing his stream Plugging Along, where he's been working on Festival Buddy, and he's been working on a challenge that I'm really interested to see how this turns out for next year at this. Whoops, no, I don't want to mount up. I want to have a kite out. There we go. Anyway, he's been working on Festival Buddy 2 and setting it up so that he's able to have a working to-do list, a quick guide that works for whether you're in Furtherholm or Midsummer Minas Tirith. And we had talked about, you know, is it all in one thing, or is it a checklist, or is it a toggle, or what? It's, yeah, so he's been working on playing around with that, and I think it's pretty close because I know he was doing some stuff in French and German, which means the English one's probably pretty well done then. Okay. Excuse me. Oui, oui, he says. Excuse me. So that'll be cool. He can show you what that looks like during his stream. Yeah, unfortunately, you know, with this being the last day of the festival, you probably won't get to use it until next year. But it'll be a cool addition. So B4 says, last thing we'll do today is add the quest-specific guides, and then it should be ready for next year. Awesome. Yeah, that'll be nice. That'll be a really nice addition for next year. And I think it's also lent you to do some changes in the code, if I understand correctly, So many, he says. I meant, yeah, fair. But I, I meant specific to having guides built into the
May the seas be calm and the
built into
winds
Festival Buddy
fair.
2, and how to manage those. It sounds like there was some, yeah, he says, yep, there were some changes on how that works, which means there's the possibility of getting more of those in the future. Now, last week, I think it was, we were talking about Ale Association in League, and I said something to the effect of like, boy, wouldn't that be cool if there was a plugin, even maybe Festival Buddy 2, maybe a different one, standalone, which would allow you to like, you know,
Fair
have
winds to you.
a route based on an optimized route based on what travel skills you have. He did not take up the challenge on that one. He's like, no thanks. Not today. That's fair. Alright, after we get this fish, then we'll mount up and start helping the people out on the beach. Guess I can go ahead and open that. Alright, caught a fish. Yes, we did. Excellent. Now, I think we may have just run right by the skinny cat before. Yeah, let's say hi to the skinny cat. Okay, cool. And seagull, and sassy cat. Oops, there we go. Cool. Flotsam. Which dismounts you for that. That's okay. We're just right here, so it's not that bad.
Hello there.
And we'll pop over here. Head back down. And grab that guy a cushion. Because sand is annoying. I would like beaches alright, except for, you know, if there wasn't so much sand and so much sun. And then I'd probably like beaches better. Unfortunately, those two are apparently key components of beaches. So, yeah. And people are like, yeah, we could go to the beach. I'm like, is there anything else we can do? Now, one thing I really like is waves. I love watching waves come in and listening to the waves coming in. I find that just like ridiculously peaceful. And I would love to experience that more often. So, I mean, I'm fine with like a rocky outcrop with the waves crashing against it. Perfect. That sounds like a heavenly place to be. Maybe someday, you know, when we're like have oodles of money, we'll buy a second house and buy a rocky place where the waves come. That'd be pretty cool. That seems like a weird thing to do, though, because, like, what would be the point of having two houses? Because then you'd have two places you have to clean, and, like, if you're not there, who's living there? Because it seems very wasteful to have a house and not have anybody living in it. So maybe I really need, like, to find a hotel or a B&B where I can just go from time to time. Before it says, glass half full version, wait long enough and the crashing waves will come to us. Wah, wah. Yeah.
Tonight, wine, food, and friends. Tomorrow, come
So
what may.
we do live in the Netherlands, but where we live in the Netherlands is above sea level. So we are okay for the time being. Apparently, there was work being done on the nearby dike recently as well. Although I saw an article, I'll have to show you later, that maybe it was related to them, something to do with the the village we live in is celebrating having been in existence for many years. And so they're doing stuff all year round this year for it. And I guess there's a beach here that I've never been to. Shocking. That there's some outdoor swimming place around here somewhere that I haven't been to. And I guess there's going to be something going on there. And they may have been doing some reconstruction or putting a podium or something there. A platform. I'm not sure. But anyway, so yes, they regularly keep our dikes around here in good condition. Which isn't like a big, like, concrete structure. It's like a big hill of dirt and whatnot with grass and, like, yeah. So it's a much stronger barrier than something that seems so much more temporary. It's part of the landscape, which is cool. And it's fun too, because it kind of like has a dike that goes there, and then there's another dike area that goes up, and so there's multiple places for the water to stop before it would get to us. Yeah, before it points out that at only 11 meters or 36 feet above sea level, we've got some time. Yeah, I think we'll, yeah. No, I think it would make more sense to find a place that I like to go to and then just go there periodically. Haven't found it yet, but I'm on the lookout. Oh, I actually want to mount up because I'm going to the waterfall. Alright. I haven't gotten yet to the point where all of my festival characters have festival outfits that I switch to for each festival. But that's also on my list of things to do over the course of a year or so. Because I started buying the next... I think I bought 2 more outfit slots because they are available, but they're not on sale. You know, they're for sale, but they're not on discount yet. So I might wait to get more of them when they're on discount. Why not? Well, the why not of it is if I wanted to go ahead and just have a bunch of outfits already sorted out. Alright. Cool. Yeah, that's the other thing. I get lost in the trees up here. Alright, back across the waterfall. And back to the track. And over to the tree. So that's olive tree number 3. So I've done the herbs that I need to pick off the ground. I've done 3 lemon trees and 3 olive trees, and so I need 1 more of each. So this is the last lemon tree that I need, and then I'll get the last olive tree at the end of the run. So this is where I mount up and then throw myself off the cliff. And I'm looking for that point, I think it is. Yeah, that was it. These little crabs go back and forth. And I think it has to do with people doing the race. I think that's part of how they're, you know, triggered out. This is, like I said, this is the one where I don't have like a visual to work from yet. I haven't figured out how you know where to go aside from the ring on the map. And so if I have to follow the ring on the map, sometimes I have to pull up the map, make sure I'm on track. But the other ones so far, I've got like enough of a pattern that I just get there pretty regular, pretty okay. I think it's because that one is so far away from the shore, and so there's no landmarks out there yet. Maybe they'll add some fish or something in the future, and that'll make it more obvious, like where you're going. Maybe a shark. That would be funny. Alright, so I use that seashell, that first one, as a kind of a landmark for me to know that now I turn and go into the water and go to these other seashells. There in the water. That always looks so good. I love watching the Bjorning swim. It's a great look. All right, last fishing spot. All right, cool. Well, I definitely appreciate how the cats used to be a lot more skittish around us, especially Casper, and how they are very trusting of us now. I have someone zonked out next to me with his palm up in the air and everything. Still can't get them to let us hold them still to trim their nails, though. Maybe eventually. Alright, so that's our last olive tree. That's the last of all the things. So, world chat's great. People were talking about a bug where you do a raid and it's doom and gloom, and then you come out of that and you bring some of the stuff with you. It's Khazad-dûm, yeah, Khazad-dûm raid. So they're like, there's blue skies and falling bird things, bird stuff.
And the winds fair.
And apparently it's a known bug that sometimes you do that raid and you bring the atmosphere with you, right? The effects and stuff. And somebody logged in the middle of that conversation,
Fair winds
and
to you.
they were talking about how the thing is a known bug. And so the person says, what's a known bug? And somebody says, an issue that was already reported or experienced by other people. But that's not important right now.
Good day to you, traveler.
They really were responding that they
Fair
thought the
winds
person
to
didn't know
you.
what a known bug
Good day to you,
definition really
traveler.
was.
Good day to you, traveler.
It was great.
Good day to you, traveler.
Yes, at least they're not bringing a plague out with them, says before. Yeah, apparently that was a WoW thing, is that right? Yeah, that you could get hit by a
Good day to
plague
you,
in a
traveler.
dungeon or something, and then the effect would still be on you, and you'd come out, and then you would spread in on landscape. And apparently it was a way to take out a whole lot of people. So, yeah. Search term, the Great Plague of Zul'Gurub. So, I've read it before, and I thought it was pretty funny. Ooh, my goodness. So, well, that's a little bit of a run of Winterholm. Wrong season. Furtherholm. Here, let's go outside while we're finishing up here. since this will probably be our last day here until next year, let's go find a nice place to hang out. Here, this bridge looks nice. I mean, all 5 of my characters are still here. They haven't left yet. So, anyway, yeah. So, this has been Furtherholm. It's been lovely. Yeah, and I think a lot of people are really happy with it. So, that's kudos to the devs and to MVP for making a really nice place that people are very passionate about and very happy to be enjoying. So that's pretty neat. Yeah. So hopefully everybody has had a chance to get out here and experience Furtherholm and yeah, and enjoy it and interact with, you know, the various quests that are going on out here, and maybe check out the new horse race and see how that compares to the horse races that we've seen previously and what you think about that. I'm definitely curious. That speed boost feels different than the speed boost that you get from running the bridges, like in Bree or in the Shire. So I'm curious, like, is it a different effect? Or, because again, MVP was saying that there aren't a lot of others because one of the reasons is because they're hard to do. Like, and so I'm wondering if you know, whatever tech or coding they had been doing to make the other ones, like, you know, 20 years ago or whatever, if things have ended up being redone differently then. So yeah, it feels like a different boost. So I'm curious about that. And I'm also curious if, like, is there a spot that you hit, or is it a region? Is it like a band, or, you know, whatever. So I'm hopeful that, yeah, as more and more people are testing it and playing with it and seeing how it is, we'll get more information spreading throughout the community about, you know, ways to optimize your run through there. So, all right. Well, last chance to ask any questions before I am going to head out. But do stick around, because before we'll be coming on with his stream Plugging Along and talking about Festival Buddy 2 that he'll be using on stream with Midsummer and doing some quick guide action there. So stuff where you get checkboxes to help you, you know, keep on track of what are you doing and what do you need to do, and that sort of thing. So yeah, the quick guide's been really handy, especially for Midsummer. So Minas Tirith Midsummer. So I'm really excited to see how that comes together for Festival Buddy for Furtherholm as well. Next week, we don't have any festival next week, so I'm not sure what we'll do. Probably something related to whatever our main characters are doing over on Peregrine. Possibly some daily things that we're working on. We're currently, like, helping a forest in the north, so, but we might be done by then with that. Yeah, we'll just have to see what we end up doing next week. Might be a little more questy related, a little more, it'll probably be a landscape related, unless we do like delvings or something on this server, because we do have 160s on here, but it'll be something like that. So if you have anything specific you want to see, let me know. As usual, this will be posted over on my YouTube channel as well, so you're always welcome to make comments over there, suggestions, ideas, thoughts, any of that. We try to make sure to read the comments and stuff like that. So, all right. Well, have a great rest of your day, everybody. Yeah. Okay. Awesome. And I will see you next week. Take care. All right. Bye-bye.